ngày lúc công tác cái số bị tiêu mà sẽ về đến in pi làm cái hỏi in student organization hồ làm cái minu đi pa tu ni đi hoa hi cái contact ai hi number hi sang khát vang cái này status các bạn này ôi mà giá cái mà khá là những của mình help me em sẽ tập lại cái bọn nó điều hồ video đi quay về buổi trưa xảy ra nắng tạo tại gì đi quay về cái luôn nghe là chứ gần đây tê thì đang cái gì tụt này tê thì nhìn như khu du sĩ thằng mẹ hiện nay thì cái chuyện đó đi tu đi được khoa cái topic hi English anh sẽ nói cái tiếng president của đương nhiên là ấy bảo là cái điều gì sẽ nên cắt theo cái topic ở hiện Meeting Kuki conflicts and perils of educational perils of the Kuki students. President Pai in topic in the answer and the way forward of Khongsai. And you got in the IPCN way forward to strategy, tactical planning in. A tactical strategy ho, is a look like me encounter in Bordeaux. Me cut ambush ka Bordeaux nga, sinile ambush ka Bordeaux who in Katil Hulu Yamini. I teach Achu, Nam Nipike here, you cut you. Nam Lamka, IPCA, responsible, Pizza Chabon, he was on him. Hết ngày, cũng cái kia bản y các tỷ đầu tan thì giờ pin là cái mà nó sẽ tactical plan strategy thì sao, anh sẽ được rồi, thì cho thì tụt này thì sẽ mà lung chỉ lại điểm lại rồi hết, làm cảnh sẽ nó này, cái switch thì, tháo cái gì đi mà chán buồn, mấy hiện tại này em muốn nào, xem lại cho con hồ tìm xem cái buồn hồ scholars want as newspaper like this evidences empirical evidences research paper kala ado le atam dan se le kha khana so the ni no ai ba kan su chama alien measure si kan su chama ni ai kan sim panagang chal le ya sanu ta kan se ti chima sana chu sim lai cha pang mi za ni bong khat de khat in tu de se te sim lai cha pang si okay itam po bin nunga gol hang na tong si khat de aban le na jong tong lai lo le kha si no amo si khat de aban le lu te pa te ho khat de okay if you want to go home, me at terms of education is part of it. Like a simple English. The concept of Kuki student organization is education is multi-faceted dimension, compassing from birth to death. Numi party to parenting education, natong ho to Sumlo business education, him ho to structure academic student. Hey, just in one line way. So, the topic he leh sim ho bu si ading a nati lo nating ba kan kisim masa so well. Nuni no ko aka saving ho hi Kuki chapa ka hi aka saving hello. Main hekte ka bet dai aka saving hello. Kalumahan ja ka sayong hello, kalay na ja ka sayong hello, kapon na ja ka sayong hello din. How the world sees it through newspapers, through scholarly research, through data-driven statistics. Ấy thì cho President Park của cái khi là xây dựng Park để làm professional home làm cái điều coi mang coi tiền. Cho nên government cho ta tu đa hoa hi sẽ là bôi tiền cái chú police hoàn im lặng là khổ lô tiền đá này giá chú in sẽ sai hình tiền khổ bôi Kan say the alien in what I mean and the way in Batanati. Well, today, if we look at the world around us, the history, the conflict, the world, the geopolitical scenario of the present situation, you will see traditionally that some institutions have protection to certain degree, respect, reverence to certain degree at times of conflict and war. Educational institutions are protected for the intellectual capacity it passed down from generation to generation. Temples, places of worship are respected for the spiritual realm and for the respect of human soul. Women are respected for the vulnerability they face. Children are respected for the innocence. But something very ironic takes place in Manipur. Where you found in the world, these institutions are respected. The opposite happens in Manipur, where the Métis mechanize the educational system to defeat the Kukis. And I will be proving through connections from newspapers, research papers, and all whatnot. On the fateful night of May 3rd, 2023, when the ethnic cleansing began, the student community were one of the first targets. Mobs targeted the hostels, including Manipur University Hostel, tribal hostels, nursing centers, and all other centers wherever Kuki students are there. Tragically, these hostels were ransacked and Kuki students were subjected to identity-based scrutiny, leading to a lifelong trauma, lifelong handicaps for many, and the survivors continued to grapple with the aftermath. Their lives forever changed by the violence and brutality they face. These are just an overview. I will be presenting you more empirical facts. Today, I wish to shed a light on a pressing concern to remind ourselves and to tell the whole world that the state-sponsored ethnic violence has precipitated a calamitous impact on the academic opportunities, qualities, and institutional structures of the Kuki-Jo people. This assertion is not substantiated not by emotional rhetoric or ephemeral outrage, but by empirical evidence and data-driven research presented in reputed newspapers, print media, journals, and scholarly papers. As per the data collected by Kuki Student Organization, Delhi and NCR, published in Unveiling Tragedy, Manipur Conflict and Economic Loss of the Kuki, a total number of 92 schools. The other sources said it is 95 or so, well destroyed, with Tangpopi district witnessing the largest number of schools burned down at 46, followed by Chandil, 20 schools, Churachandpur 9, Info West 5, Info East 2, and Tengnopal District 2. In an interview with NDTV, one school headmistress who worked in the school located in Kangpopi district near the foothills of Infa said, and I quote, "I called up my native friends and pleaded them not to ban the school and its hostels. I thought I could reason and convince my native friends and families, as the school has students from surrounding native villages for the past 30 years. I and my students, numbering about 90, had to flee to the nearby jungles and live for 3 days and 3 nights before we were rescued by Indian Army. We watched our school burn down from a distance where we were hiding for safety." This is not the end, it's the beginning of the story. The Hills Journal on August 2022, 2023 published. I quote, "Manipulation or error. Manipur University examination results for Raeburn College draws fled from all quarters. In this regard, the Raeburn College had issued a clarification on Tuesday stating that 10 out of 76 students cleared their 5th semester examination in psychology paper. Numerous students from Raeburn College have received 0 or no marks in their 2nd and 4th semester examination 2022 in different subjects were true." When contacted by the Hill Journals, the vice principal of Raeburn College said that he was surprised by the result as to why many of his students were deliberately given 0 or no marks in their mark sheets. "The authority of Manipur University has contacted me and said that a corrigendum in this regard will be issued within 1 hour. However, the damage has been done and this is injustice to our student community and the irresponsible nature of Manipur University authority has shaped that image for the university." A student, Swanmu, speaking to the media, he said, "Many of the students who were sure enough to pass the exam failed in the exam, with some of them receiving marks like 0, 7, 12, 13, and so on." In another media by ePower published on October 4, 2023, at Sum, All Tribal Student Union Manipur accuses Manipur University of discriminating Kuki students, and I quote, in a release, at Sum Education Secretary Kaifo Hobson Mao contended that the university deliberately failed the tribal students based on their ethnicity. "Never in the history of any university, results has been manipulated and declared in this way," the secretary stated, adding that it clearly shows that marks and results have arbitrarily been fixed with malice. "This is highly condemnable and needs to be investigated thoroughly. Necessary arrangement has to be made for Kuki tribal students by the authority concerned so that they can pursue study without discrimination and malice," the secretary demanded. Following the widespread public outcry, Manipur University acknowledged the erroneous result. Accordingly, the revised result was issued, wherein 31 students passed, adding to 53.95%. But the fundamental question remains: how did such a glaring mistake occur in the first place? A university, a reputed one, running for so many years, how can it suddenly commit such a mistake in such a critical time when the situation demands utmost care? And what systematic flaws allowed it to go unchecked? Who is to answer this? The Kuki cannot answer. it is the responsibility of the Métis, and very sure they will not answer also. That is their nature. Then another interesting report again by the print media on 27 November 2023 states, Kuki Zo petitioners submit that armed men led ships to school in Imphal held 25, including women and children hostage, and that Manipur police acted in collusion with the Reuters. This is published by a very reputed national media, The Print, not said by anyone, any Kuki or anybody. And here is another. I will cut short because of time constraints, so I will make it a little shorter. The school that I'm referring to was St. Peter's School at National Games Village, Ward No. 5, in Far West District. Once a thriving hub of learning, St. Peter's School, a revered institution affiliated with the Manipur Board, hosted an enrollment of over 800 students up to class 10 prior to the fateful events of May 3, 2023. This school was burned to ashes on the 4th May. The school infrastructures, the classroom, and the school had not even a church ground like this. It was set on fire. Whatever remains, they have stolen. Right there, look at that. A good time classroom. Okay. Another incident occurred at Moray, as reported by News Analysis on February 9, 2024. And this report is still very more interesting because it has got CCTV camera footage. The evidence of school arson by Métis police personnel. We are talking about Mount Moray Public School, Bethsaida School, and Dr. Colvin School. The Post further states, I quote from the Post, this criminal activity perpetrated by the state police concurs with the victim's account of the state forces' involvement in the attacks on their village, first and then the arson on the houses and churches. With no one else left to blame as the scapegoats, will short circuit be their last resort this time too, to save the ass of Métis' darling state police forces and their hidden agenda to use education as one of the means to oppress the Kuki Jews. Just as it was expected, the incident was later investigated and given a clean gospel through cheat. Unsurprisingly, the Métis police personnel blame electricity. Electricity na chit mo hen. Amo chit na. These schools were the venerable bastions of knowledge, centers of learning, and architects of young minds for the Kuki people as a whole and for the youths and the student community of Moray town. Similarly, St. Joseph Higher Secondary School in Sugulu, located just a throw away from the police station, was deliberately set ablaze on June 4, 2023. This incident and the incidents that I have narrated are just few examples of the rest of the 90 plus schools that suffered similar fate. The systematic targeting of education infrastructure startling reveals a war on education. The state government in action in defending these institutions from destruction raises question about their commitment to preserving the future of their citizens. And here is another very striking report. After all this atrocity committed, the educational institutions had no other choice but to choose to affiliate themselves to CBSE. But what's the outcome? How does the Métis government react? Let us see. Following requests from schools in Kuki zone dominated Angkokpi and Churatampo district, 28 schools have been given CBSE affiliation. It is reported by the Times of India on December 21st, 2023. However, These efforts were met with resistance from the state government, which issued a show-cause notice to schools already afflicted with the Manipur State Board that sought to switch to the Central Board of Secondary Education (CBSE). Consequently, the CBSE revoked the affiliation of the schools, citing non-compliance with regulatory requirements. And they further warned, if any school is found not following due process in the future, necessary action will be initiated against them also, apart from withdrawing of affiliation by competent authority. Whom are they warning? Is it to the mobs who burn down the schools and colleges? Or to those who ignite the violence? No, they won't. Rather, a warning to the victims whose schools, educational institutions were burned down and who had no other option to survive academically. This raises a fundamental question. Who exactly does the government consider competent authority in Manipur? Is it the Arambai Tengols who wield enough power to summon elected MLAs? Or perhaps, is it the Khongsai, which has publicly declared war on the Kuki people? Or maybe the Meitei Lipun, whose chief has presently claimed the ability to annihilate the Kuki people? Very famous one, Mr. Pramod, Mr. Globe. So, all this proves that the Meiteis have used education as a forefront mechanism to wipe out the Kuki people. Yet we are strong people. We still survive. And how do we survive? Let us see. In a state of utter helplessness, the Kuki student organization launched very famous Education for All campaign, establishing community schools that rely solely on local funding and resources to address the alarming rate of dropouts and displacement among students. Till that, 6 community schools have been set up, catering to approximately 2,000 students with basic education. However, students seeking higher education are forced to relocate to cities and other states burdened by exorbitant fees amidst an economic crisis. The stark reality of Manipur education landscape is evident in its skilled infrastructure. 12 universities, total of 12 universities in Manipur, with one only in the hills, that was also recently abrogated, the Sangha University. All this are sufficient proof that for the Kukis to survive academically, separate administration is the only way out. And any right-thinking and sound-minded citizen can draw their conclusion. Talking about education, I would also like to mention many good Samaritans who have extended support to the Kuki student community in different parts of the country. Here in Bangalore, we have the Archdiocese of Bangalore, who have sponsored so many students. In different parts of the country, churches, organizations, we give them a big thanks for standing in solidarity with the Kuki academic body. Therefore, it is the right time for the government, the central government, to decide whether they want the Kuki people who had contributed since time immemorial, from the time of INA, the Kukis have served in different capacity, academically, bureaucracy, army, armed forces, and in many capacities have served. And if the government wants to continue us to serve, they should give us an autonomous, well-planned and vision, and take our own decision and live according to our plans. And the Kuki people are capable of that. So today, good in the Koa, I listen to Azusi, very in the soup and now, Kim Jinala, tấm tại student thì nó không phải in English bảo ba cái gì luôn đâu khát lên đi ôm mình cho hình đấy education thôi chứ education sẽ tham gia program atau phát triển chụp đi bảo ba cái gì luôn ấy như thế thì nào ba anu apa asu bi apin te achi santi ba bi ako aho sa ko ko chaga to ki thi khan na ma kina themi ye nin ki thi khan na ba ki ngai dum ba kina themi ye hin la za dang nam dang te in nam mina in tha chi mi a hi in su gen the phan ni khat ni la khat ni ba he ni pe pe thi ye di am movement này thì is what to is what cái gì mà what to see thắt ni hiểu nè hâm sẽ để cái gì ấy thì là Bangalore round mình đi bộ thì đó ít là ngang họ thu chi nào mình sẽ see thì cũng nè Bangalore round mình đi bộ thì đó movement này bạn nói lý sự là hiện là cái gì biết cái movement popular ấy chỉ popular nên đi ngang chứ nên là tổ nó muốn là con cái ni mi thu tiền này ít bữa nào bị sẽ khát rồi về cái gì mà college mi thùng đệ là tí giờ khát lên đi qua mà mình cũng vui về cũng tiếp kia ít bữa nào mi thấy sẽ khát rồi kita pun naik sudah. Di saat ini thùng qua mà xem tin khát đi về luôn xếp đến Twitter X cái hóa thì nhìn thu khát lên xem cái điều mình tấm cái đấy cái tổ độ tạ lộ vô hẳn na. Cái hồi hiện năm cái chui xem anh liên tạ đã nhiều chú mi kỳ tài cái học riêng cái khung cái bé đã chụp thì protest voting pen cái rồi năm là nói nhiều chú cái lùng chú năm là tổ chú gan hệ thì điều đó đấy để các sinh pan trong mình hệ ba tổ cái tiết hệ ta sinh đấy là trong pan trong cái năng anh ấy là sao hay sum hao là có hội ta hol đấy thì những người đó hẳn là trong năm là tôi thì chứ năm là tôi thì cái tạ tay hiện cho bác sĩ sai thì rồi năm là tôi thì hiện rồi trong thì cái bài học đang dạy rồi nhưng mà thả rồi hết ấy thì chứ không thả cái hồ inu le pa teo ingo ovin inu le pa te bin nang sim khat na sak le ke ho to ai hi tam rồi Kuki thì là cái con là lâu chơi vàng hồ cái Khongsai cái biểu cái tí chú thì đang độ dân lên chỗ ông thì sẽ là Kuki thì là đăng bài họ Kuki Kuki studio này anh muốn nặng cái tí chú ấy chứ cái gì anh thì là không có sao hỏi Kuki anh đi về sẽ nói để vào chỗ anh suy kia rồi ấy cho education parents on là có cái này sẽ có cái bạn anh cái thảo tất điều bạn này không thà cái như là bao nhiêu thì sẽ vào chung cái họ như là bao nhiêu phát rồi đấy cái phụ huynh giáo sư thì chỉ là thế rồi chỉ là cái gì vai rồi để năm cái khẩn cầu này là gì tiếng để cha cho hiểu điều chụp phát ở trên generation này rồi đấy Kuki society ra sử dụng đều hết không thà anh em trả tiền này là hoa con này cái thằng sim được sim thật dữ lắm là chung là gì chú anh sử dụng đâu sử dụng cái đâu anh nghe biết xây cái gì là chú thích gì đấy thì dễ chân cái sẽ là tình hình năm kia là có cái chỉ tiêu mà để thì bốn cái bài cuối một số chế về thì lại cái chúng sẽ được các phần sẽ hiện đăng bài của tổng hợp phần sẽ hiện đăng kia này trong một số phần có người thì giúp sẽ là cần sử dụng năm phiếu thì vụ kita